All right. Hey, okay, so this is March 21st. We're in Medford, Oregon. And so we on the way to going to outreach today, I saw at Arby's, we were going to Starbucks, and I see in Arby's window that they had 5 for $5.95, and I was like, "Man, that'd be great. I would really want to go there." So after outreach, I was like, "Hey, can we stop at Arby's?" And everyone's just like, "All right." So we go into Arby's and we're eating our food, and I've like Melissa, you had already seen the angel walk in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
just say what you saw.
Okay, I saw an angel walk in the door, and then David started saying, "Oh, I feel an angel over here," and I looked over, and there was an angel, and then all of a sudden, it was just like major presence of God just fell with all these angels coming in.
Okay. Yeah, and so this phone number from Florida, an 850 area code, which is what my phone is still under because I haven't changed my phone number. It called me, and I didn't know it, so I just put it back in my pocket, and then it left a voicemail. But then it called right back again. And so I went to pick it up, but I missed it for whatever reason. I didn't think it was too late, like to miss the call, like it would have gone to voicemail already. But I missed it, and so then I checked the voicemail, and it was just a click, and then it hung up. And so then the number calls back again, and I'm like, "What is this?" And I try to answer it and say hello, and no one's there. And then it calls back again, and it keeps calling back, and it probably called back 5 times, and then finally Sarah took it, and so she was trying to answer, and then after all, Sarah goes, "I'm going to call it back," and
Well,
so
what happened was while I was answering it and there was no one on the other line, we were all trying to get words of knowledge for this person who wasn't actually a person that we could hear because there was no response, but we were getting words of knowledge and stuff for them anyway and speaking it out, but there was no response because no one was talking.
yeah, and I kind of thought it was a prank call, honestly.
Yeah, I thought it was a prank call.
And at one point, Sarah actually thought she heard laughing on the other end, right before it clicking.
It's probably the angels.
And so we're trying to get words of knowledge. And so who first got the word of knowledge for writing?
He saw a pencil.
I saw a pencil and I saw writing.
You saw a pencil and writing. Josh saw a
Yeah.
pencil and writing. And you kind of...
And I got writing as well.
And Melissa got writing also. And then what did you get, Josh, after that?
Well, then she started talking to him, and then I just saw, all of a sudden I saw the word pancreas, and I just was like, yeah, pancreas cancer, but I was just kind of joking.
But
And
was that before she actually was on the phone with a person?
Yeah, before she was on the phone.
Okay, but it was just when she was trying to call back or something.
Yeah, and the word just popped into my head. I just saw it typed out.
Yeah. So Sarah is being persistent in trying to call this person that, for whatever reason called my phone. And so she gets a hold of the lady, and finds out her name and, well, you go ahead.
So basically what happened is she answers the phone and I said, "Hi, did you try to call this number?" And I think she's something like, "I'm not sure. I've been trying to fax something for the last however long." And she's like, "I'm sorry, is this?" I said, "Well, this is a cell phone number, and it's not you can't, send a fax to it or whatever." And she's like, "Oh, so I've got the wrong number." And I said, "I guess, I'm not sure." And she was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And right before she was about to hang up, I said, "Well, just 1 second." And I was like, "Well, we were trying to figure out who was calling us. We were asking God to show us things about the person on the phone, and we felt like there was something about writing. Like, do you write?" And she goes, "No." And so I said, "Well, do you journal? Do you like to write? Is that something you've been doing?" And she's like, "Not really." I said, "Well, maybe you should try it." And then I'm like, "I got to turn this around, Lord help me." So I was like, well, I'll just encourage her. It's like, "Well, I just want to let you know that God thinks you're amazing." I don't remember all that I said. Something to the effect of, I think God thinks you're amazing, He loves you very much, and has a plan for your life. And she goes, "Wow, that's really amazing, because I'm going through a really hard time right now. That's really awesome to hear." And so I'm like, "Oh, really? Well, what's happening?" And she goes, "Well, actually, on Monday, I'm going to have surgery on my pancreas." And I was like, "What? No way, that's not even real." And so I look over at Josh and I go, "Her pancreas, she's getting pancreas surgery." And we're all just flipping out at the table. We couldn't believe it. And So I'm talking to her, and I go, "You're not going to believe this, ma'am." I go, "What's your name?" And she tells me, and it's Barbara. And so I was like, "You're not going to believe this, Barbara, but right before I called you back, my friend Josh, who's sitting across the table from me, just heard the Lord say," like he felt like God told him that the person on the phone had an issue with their pancreas. And so I asked her what was going on with the pancreas, and she said that she had a growth, like a tumor in her pancreas. And so I was like, "No way, this is unbelievable." So I told her, a bit more about we're here, and I shared a couple testimonies about someone with cancer having God touch them and the pain leaving, the swelling going down, and just told her that, that God had set this up, divine appointment, for us to talk. And so I eventually asked her if I can pray for her, and I'd pray with her. And the rest of us at the table were just like praying with me, and we laid hands on the phone. And I asked her if she was feeling anything in her body, and she said no. So I asked if I could pray again. And so I prayed again. And she could hardly believe it. Both of us were in awe, like in shock that we were actually talking to each other about this. It was unbelievable. And I said, "Well, you know what? I'm in Oregon right now." And she's like, "Well, I'm in Florida." And I said, God had, I don't remember exactly what I said, but something about, God is using this to show you that he's with you right now, and that he's healing your body, that he's your healer, and that he's using someone all the way over here in Oregon in a missed call, an unintentional call, just so that we could talk right now. And so basically I just encouraged her a bit more, and she said she didn't feel anything happening in her body necessarily, but she said that doesn't mean nothing's happening. She said it doesn't mean that he's not healing me. I just don't feel it right now. Basically, she said she doesn't have pain from it because of the nature of the tumor. But she's going on Monday, and I was able to just encourage her more. And she has our phone number, which it turns out it was like the first 7 digits of the fax number she was trying to reach were the last 7 digits of David's phone number. So it's just like, I guess what did you say?
She didn't hit 1 to dial the area code, because the area code apparently of the phone number she was dialing was 251, which is the first 3 digits of my phone number. And so then the next 4, so what would have been the first 4 digits of the phone number without the area code were the last 4 digits of my phone number. So it was going straight to my phone instead of to the full. Yeah, because I had the same area code as she had. So
in Florida, the same Florida area
yeah,
code.
And it was kind of funny also, along with that, was I wouldn't have really answered the phone. If it had been while we were driving home, I probably wouldn't have pulled it out of my pocket just because it had been difficult to get it out. But since we were just sitting there at the table, I thought, I might as well pull it out and see what's going on. And then also, if we had already gotten home, because I think we might have been home already, I would have been planning on taking a nap, and totally wouldn't have been answering my phone, and would have never, had Sarah ask like, "Hey, can I have your phone to, call this person back?" And so It was just a complete divine setup.
Yeah, and it was neat because right after the angelic activity started happening in the restaurant, we started getting this encounter on the phone, came up, and we started getting the words of knowledge not long after the angels showed up. And then we ended up calling this woman back. And it was just really neat because it was almost like, the angels knew it was happening or something because God was setting it up. It was crazy. So she's supposed to call and let us know what happens with the surgery. So it was just amazing. She was really encouraged because you could tell by her voice that she was really kind of a little bit wary about it and feeling maybe a little bit discouraged. But the fact that someone on the other side of the country called her number and had a word of knowledge about what was wrong with her, it totally blessed her, rocked her, and I think it really built her faith that she would be healed. So it was just amazing. She was like, she couldn't believe it, and we couldn't believe it. We were getting rocked in the restaurant.
Yeah.
It was great.
Praise God.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
God.
Woo!